Today we're going to be diving into the secret origins of Blackbeard's crew. And we're going to be exploring how Eiichiro Oda, the mastermind behind One Piece, drew inspiration from Greek mythology to create this infamous crew. So get ready to set sail on this epic adventure as we unravel the hidden connections between One Piece and Greek mythology. Now without further ado, I'm Slap Anime, and let's get right into it. In the beginning, there was only chaos. That is, until Mother Earth decided to bring order into the world. She alone created the one who sits above all, Uranus, the king of heaven. They had many children. Those children came to be known as the Cyclopses, the Hecatonomies, and most importantly, the 12 Elder Titans, which by the way, the word Titan is root for the word Titanic, which is what Blackbeard calls his most trusted crew members, the Titanic Captains. But of course, the name Titanic isn't the only thing that relates Blackbeard to the 12 Elder Titans. It's also the story of how Cronus, the youngest of the Elder Titans, took down his father Uranus. As the old saying goes, power corrupts. But in the case of Uranus, he became a tyrannical leader, sending the Cyclopses and the Hecatonomies into jail, into Tartarus. And to relate this back to One Piece, let's call Uranus Whitebeard, a man who calls every one of his crew members either son or daughter, and they all refer back to him as Pops. And let's call Blackbeard Cronus. And in this story, Uranus became a tyrannical leader, and one of his sons, Cronus, his most ambitious son, decided to start a rebellion so that he could become the new ruler of the world, or the new emperor. But the basics of the story is that he took his 4 pillars, 4 of his brothers, Hyperion, Iapetus, Coeus, and Creus, each being a member of the Titans, and each tasked with the job of holding up the sky from crashing down to the earth, something that we're going to get back to a little bit later. But each of these Titans also represented a cardinal direction on the earth. Creus was of the south, Coeus was of the north, Hyperion was of the west, and Iapetus was of the east. These 4 pillars decided to help Cronus, Blackbeard, hold his father down when Cronus came up, castrated his father, and took his territory. And hence, Cronus became the new ruler of the world, the new Yonko. This story really matches up well with what Blackbeard actually ended up doing with his own father, Whitebeard, because Blackbeard's 4 pillars, Q, Van Augur, Jesus Burgess, and Laffitte all decided to hold down Whitebeard and help Blackbeard take his power and his territory. So let's start there. Which of those 4 Titans represent the 4 members in Blackbeard's crew? First up, let's talk about Laffitte. He's a man of charisma and he has grace. This man was able to walk into the world government before they were associated, not ring any alarms, nobody got defensive, and he was able to deliver his message and actually get Blackbeard to get enlisted as a warlord. And this man is also watchful. When his crew decided to attack Ace in the beginning of the story, he wasn't all rash like Jesus and the others. He decided to sit back and watch. And he also watches his crew. When Avalo Pizzaro said he wanted to take down Blackbeard, Laffitte said, watch yourself. And we've also seen Laffitte have wings. We don't know if this is part of a devil fruit or part of a race that we have or haven't seen in the story yet. And it's important to note that he was born in the West Blue, which matches up perfectly with the Titan of the Western Pillar, Hyperion, a man who also has wings like Laffitte, and is known as the Titan of Wisdom and Watchfulness. Plus, Hyperion was known for his amazing grace. Just like Laffitte, he was known to put a room at ease. All the traits that Hyperion shows, Laffitte has in strides. Look at me, I'm a tap dancing fool! Next, let's talk about the most obvious link here. Q, also known as the Grim Reaper, the God of Death, which matches up perfectly with the Titan of Death, Iapetus. Both seem to have the power over sickness.
Heroes never die.
And Q could heal too, cause he's a doctor. And this Titan was known for that. He was the Titan of mortal life and death. He could heal, he could cause death, just like the Grim Reaping Doctor.
An apple a day keeps the doctor away.
Up at number 3, we have Van Augur, the sniper of the crew. He is highly intelligent, pragmatic, and a high belief in fate. And the combination of his high intellect and belief in fate often let Van Augur accurately predict the future. When the Blackbeard Pirates missed the Straw Hats right before Skypiea, it was Van Augur who said, "This world makes all who are on the path to become strong meet each other, just like a giant gear." When they met Shiryu, Van Augur also said that it was fate, and it was also fate when Shiryu gave them the antidote from Magellan's poison. And since all of the things that he predicted have come true, his foresight is almost prophetic. Which, funny enough, is kind of like how Usopp, the one who's gonna fight Van Augur in the end, also tells big lies that also come true. So funny how both of these characters have powers of prophecy. And of course, like any other ranged attacker in One Piece, you know he's skilled in observation haki, specifically future sight, which matches up perfect with the Titan Kois, a Titan known for his intellect, rationality, and pragmatism. Kois was known to actually have future sight himself, but Kois couldn't actually see into the future. It was his high intellect and power of prophecy that allowed him to combine this knowledge to accurately predict the future. So both in personality and power, the Titan Kois and the sniper Van Augur are a perfect match. I see you! Let's move on to the fourth pillar in Blackbeard's crew, the corrupt king, Avalo Pizzaro. Alright. I know what we were thinking. Avalo Pizzaro. That's somebody that Blackbeard adopted later down the road and is not one of the original four pillars. So how does he fit into this whole four-pillar theory, right? Well, Blackbeard, as we stated, is already one of the 12 Elder Titans. Cronus, the guy who took down his own father, took his power, territory, and became the new Yonko of Greek mythology. But once Cronus got elevated above the 12, he needed to put somebody in charge of his first division, somebody to lead the rest of the troops. Just like Blackbeard's 1st Division commander, Jesus Burgess, the man known as the Champion, and also known for his impeccable strength. Even since the very beginning, we've seen him lift entire hotels and just chuck them at his enemies. We all know he can lift things a little bit heavier than hotels too. And due to his strength and the fact that he's second in command in the Blackbeard Pirates leading the rest of the troops, he fits perfectly with Cronus' 1st Division commander, Atlas. During the Titanomachy, the Olympians decided to rebel against the Titans and a 10-year war ensued. During this war, a second-generation Titan, Atlas, who was known and feared for his immense strength, quickly rose up the ranks, defeating many enemies and being known as the champion of the Titans, later to officially be leading the Titans in this war. And ultimately, the Olympians did take down the Titans. And while everybody else got sent to Tartarus, which is essentially an impaled down, Atlas actually got a different punishment due to his immense strength. Who's actually tasked from holding up the Evans from crashing down onto the earth. That's where this very famous image of this man holding up this universe comes from. And when we actually think about the word Atlas in our modern world, we think about a collection of maps. Maps that sailors would use to steer their ship through the oceans, just like the helmsman of a certain pirate ship would also steer their ship through the ocean. So not only in story of being second in command of the Titans, being known for his immense strength, and being the helmsman of the pirates, Atlas and Jesus Burgess are a match made in heaven.
No pain, no gain.
Next, let's talk about Blackbeard's newest recruits, those he got from Impelled Down. Not a lot is known for many of these Titanic Captains, other than a few voice lines, epithets, and some devil fruits. First up, Avalo Pizzaro, the corrupt king, a man who was known to abuse his own people, which eventually led to his own downfall. He's normally shown to have a nonchalant personality, even just about becoming the leader of the Blackbeard Pirates himself. It's unknown if he has a devil fruit yet, but one thing that does stand out is that he is very animalistic, from his horns to the way he ends every sentence with "Nya."
Now I'm back! Now you die!
Due to this animalistic representation, Avalo Pizzaro perfectly matches the Titan Crius, who is always depicted as having horns himself, and is often represented as a half man, half ram. The word Crius literally stands for ram and has a second meaning, Master Lord, which more directly translates to Great Lord, which in different societies is called Great King. Obviously, this being the Blackbeard Pirates, everything has an evil twist to it. So, what's the evil version of a Great King? A corrupt king. Due to the animalistic representation in both Avalo and Crius, and the connections in the meanings of the name, Avalo Pizzaro and Crius are a good fit. Let's talk Shiryu of the Rain, the ex-head jailer of Impelled Down, a man of the law twisted by a murderous bloodlust, and has become a high-ranking member of the Titanic Captains. And although we don't know too much about his past, we do know he is extremely skilled with the sword, and the obvious counterpart to Zoro when the Blackbeard Pirates and the Straw Hats finally face off. So due to his character's theme being about law and order, I think Shiryu matches up perfectly with the Titan of law and order, Themis. In Greek mythology, Themis was often credited with creating the laws and the rules that regulated people. He's often depicted holding a scale in one hand and a sword in the other, kind of like Shiryu. Plus, a cool visual connection between Themis and Shiryu is that Themis is always depicted wearing a blindfold, obviously signifying that Justice is blind. But what's another thing that a blindfold does? It keeps you from being able to see anything.
Take your goddamn blindfold off!
Kind of like Shiryu's clear devil fruit, a devil fruit that he stole from Absalom, which allows him and anything he touches to turn invisible. So Shiryu and Themis are a great thematic match. Next, let's talk Sanjuan Wolf, the colossal battleship.
They found me.
The 7th of the Titanic Captains, and honestly not much is known about him other than he is giant, and he is so huge that he even walks on the ocean floor and made it to Marineford without being detected, so it's safe to speculate that he does have some kind of gigantification devil fruit. Due to the fact that he is always in the ocean, he matches up perfectly with the titan Oceanus. He ruled the seas before Poseidon, and he was known to be a very quiet titan, being the only brother of Cronus who did not partake in the dethroning of their father Uranus, which, funny enough, Sanjuan Wolf was also the only one of Blackbeard's crew who didn't directly attack Whitebeard. Sanjuan Wolf and Oceanus are one and the same because they are the ultimate force in the sea. Well, with the exception of Poseidon in both Greek mythology and One Piece. Now, we have the heavy drinker Vasco Shot. Besides always being hammered, the only thing we really know is that he doesn't have a regard for others.
I'm gonna go ahead and kill them all, okay?
But that's about all we know. Kind of like the Titan, Tethys, the goddess of fresh water. Unlike Oceanus, she resides in the land, and it is said that she drank some of Oceanus to create the lakes and the rivers.
This is what you want.
So I think Vasco Shot is kind of like Tethys in a weird, dark, twisted way, where she is the goddess of fresh water, he is the god of not fresh water. But we still don't know what kind of devil fruit he's gonna have. Do you guys think it's gonna be something related or something completely different? Lastly, the Crescent Moon Hunter, Catarina Devon. She hunts beautiful women under the blessing of the goddess of the moon and keeps their heads as trophies. Perhaps it's jealousy, because just look at her. Ugh. She is the owner of the Fox devil fruit, Maro Kitsune, aka the Nine-Tailed Fox, the mythical Zoan fruit which allows her to transform into a nine-tailed fox and anyone as well, giving her shape-shifting abilities. And that is why she matches up perfectly with the Titan Phoebe. He was known as the Titan of Intellect, just like Nine-Tails are known for their own intellect in Japanese lore. Plus, who better to match the Crescent Moon Hunter than the original goddess of the moon? Or, hear me out here, is Catarina Devon more like the Titan Nemesis, the Titan of Memory? Because Catarina Devon also made sure memories didn't fade by transforming into dead people. Nemesis was also the mother of 9 muses. Muses which inspire music, science, and stories. Like tales. 9 muses, 9 tales. Or is Catarina Devon more like the Titan Thea, the Titan of beauty and sight? Catarina hunts beauties and indirectly has powers over sight with her shape-shifting abilities. Or is Miss Devon like the Titan Rhea, the goddess of fertility? Because just like the Nine-Tails, they make sure babies are made. Which of these 4 titans do you think fit Catarina Devon the best? Let me know down in the comments. And while you're down there, make sure to like and subscribe.